This watch had me working with the smallest components I'd ever worked with, and I learned something new. This is a Longines watch from 1943. This was sent in to me by a watch enthusiast, and the reason it came to me was because it was running fast. The service history on this piece was unknown, so after I gave it a once-over, I completely stripped the watch down, gave everything a cleaning, and put the watch back together. During the initial cleaning, there were no issues with any of the components of the watch, so when I put the watch back together and it was still running fast, I needed to identify what was going on. And this is where I had the opportunity to learn something new, and to do something I have never done before on a watch. So what happened was, at some point during the history of this watch, a watchmaker decided to shave off some of the mass on the balance. So mass needed to be added back to the balance wheel, and that entails taking off the timing screws, adding what's called a timing washer, a very, very small component you can see here, onto the backside of that screw, and then replacing the timing screws. I then had to repoise the balance wheel and then put it back together and back into the watch. I'm happy to say that after a lot of hours, it's now working again. You never quite know what you're going to see when you open up a watch, and what things might have failed, what might be going on inside, especially with a vintage watch, and especially with a vintage watch that is this old. Now, I'm happy to say we were able to maintain all of the existing components. That's not always the case, but the watch is running fantastic, and it still looks great and provides that vintage charm. What do you think about this? Was it worth all these resources to get this watch running again?